Hitting bookies from the back with no Vaseline. I need green and see quantities for a fiend. Save the dreams for a king. This is H-Town, home of the lean. Astros is the team and we rock it. Texans for life, you can't stop it. Together like brothers and Bex and Jets.
What's going on, sports fans? LJ from H-Town. Sunday morning NFL. Just wanted to come real quick, throw out 5 best props that I have today that I think we can make some money on. So if you're joining me live, tune in. I know we got some more shows coming up, but I just wanted to check in real quick before y'all hop on any other shows to check out my props and let's make some money today. We're going to start off Washington and Texans, of course. We're going to take Terry McLaurin over 4.5 receiving yards. No, receptions first, minus 107, because he's averaging 4.5 on the road. He's averaged 8 receptions in his last 2 weeks. And we all know what he did last week, Monday night versus the Eagles. So we're going to jump on Terry McLaurin over 4.5 receptions. And we're going to double up on him over 65.5 receiving yards because he's averaging 73 yards on the road. And he's averaged 128 receiving yards his last 2 weeks. And we all know the Texans give up a lot of receiving yards because they've allowed 7 receivers out of their 9 games to average 108 receiving yards on them. So Terry McLaurin, that's their number 1 receiver on Washington. So I believe that Heineke will have a good day and hit this prop with Terry McLaurin. And of course, I wouldn't be mad if he took the rushing prop as well for Washington, but I don't know who's going to get the carries. Brian Robinson, Gibson, they got 2 backs that they could probably get those carries. So one of them is going to hit it, but I'm just going to take the receiver considering what he's been doing the last couple of weeks and the fact that he's the number 1 receiver on Washington. So we're going to do Terry McLaurin, double up on his receptions and receiving yards against the Texans today. Next up, we going to Atlanta, Chicago, and the Bears. We taking Justin Fields. We back on the train. We've been on the train. We're going to stay on this train. Over 70.5 rush yards, minus 124, because he's averaging 75 on the season. He's averaging 147 in his last 2 weeks, and he's averaging 116 the last 4 weeks. And we do know he's the leading rusher of the Bears. And the Falcons have allowed 8 rushers out of their 10 games to average 84 yards. So I do believe that Justin Fields will stay on this train, cash this rushing prop. He might have 100 yards and just blow it out the water. So we definitely going to stay on Justin Fields today, over 70.5 rushing yards against the Falcons. Now, we're going to jump over to the Detroit and Giants game because Jamal Williams, over 60.5 rushing yards, minus 109, because he's averaging 70 rushing yards on the season. He's averaging 70 on the road. He's averaging 70 rushing yards in the conference. And the last 2 weeks, he's averaged 60. And the last 4 weeks, he's averaged 64. Now, the prop is at 60.5. We do know that the Giants give up a lot of rushing yards, especially at home, because they've allowed 7 backs to average 89 yards rushing at home this year. And Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson did it both at the quarterback position along with their running backs as well. So that was a dual threat. So the Giants give up a lot of rushing yards at home. So we're going to jump on Jamal Williams over 60.5 rush. Now, Saquon Barkley is right at 99 and 100. And we do know Detroit give up a lot of rushing yards. But I'm just going to play it safe today. I don't want to get too juiced up in one game because I believe that Barkley's at 99. Let's say he hit 95 or 96. He may be right at it, but go a little bit under because of the hook of 100. But Jamal Williams has been averaging this. And I see that the Giants allow a lot of rushing yards at home. So we're going to stick on that trend and take Jamal Williams today for Detroit over 60.5 rushing yards. Now, we're going to jump on Lamar Jackson today versus Carolina because Carolina has allowed 92 rushing yards to 8 different running backs this season. And they've allowed 162 rushing yards total against 8 teams this year. Now, Lamar Jackson, he's averaging 70 yards on the season. He's averaging 77 yards at home. and averaging 82 in the last 2 weeks rushing. And we all know, of course, that Baltimore 8 straight games, 150 plus rushing yards total as a team. Now, we're going to take Lamar over 60 and a half rushing yards because I believe if they're giving up 162 rushing yards a game, Baltimore would definitely get this 150 plus. And Lamar just needs 60 of the 150 plus. I think that's a for sure. So let's jump on Lamar Jackson today over 60 and a half rush yards, minus 114 versus Carolina. Now, my last one. We're going to take Dak Prescott over half an interception because he threw an interception. Actually, he had 2 last week versus Green Bay, I do believe. He's averaging an interception on the season. He's averaging 2 interceptions on the road. He's averaging 1 interception in the conference games, and he's averaging 1.5 interceptions his last 2 weeks. Now, the Minnesota Vikings, they have allowed 2 interceptions a game in the last 4 games. 7 total out of 9 games. So they cause turnovers. They take the ball away and they make the quarterback throw interceptions. So Dak Prescott has been leading the league in interceptions the last 4 weeks. So we're going to jump on Dak Prescott over half an interception versus the Vikings today. So those are my plays. Just want to jump in real quick before, Jimmy and everybody else come on because, I watch them too. So everybody trying to make plays. We're trying to cash today. So good luck, everybody, and LjfromHtown, I will be back, to review the games and give the results of what we put out today because we're very transparent. We're going to give our plays and then we're going to do our records to see how we did. So until then, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for jumping in with me, and we out.
Yeah, R-A-W, words being served, no concern and no trouble to get that dough. Money on my mind, if it's money all the time, we be pumping on the grind. If it's LJ from Houston, pulling up stats, you'll be pulling in stacks, hitting rookies from the back with no Vaseline. I need green and upkeep quantities for a fiend, save the dreams for a game. This is H-Town, home of the lean, Astros is the